The film industry is infested with serial killer movies. But there are three that stand out from the others, emanating a different air. Three that I consider to be sublime. David Fincher's Seven from 1995, Bong Joon-ho's Memories of Murder from 2003, and again David Fincher's Zodiac from 2007. These films do not give you the sort of sadistic pleasure or bloody catharsis as you may expect from other serial killer movies. Instead, interestingly, what you feel while watching these films is a strong sense of hopelessness, a depression that hangs around you like a thick fog during the entirety of the film. But how do these films achieve that? You can add action, visual effects, and music, even romance to a movie, but how can you communicate hopelessness through it? Here's how Seven, Memories of Murder, and Zodiac did it. It was by their unrelenting stubbornness to refuse to disclose who the killer is until the very end, or perhaps not at all. Take a look. In Seven, it is only after a whopping 75% of the entire film has passed that the killer's face is even shown. Before that, we don't even know which actor is playing the killer. In Zodiac, a suspect first appears at the 50% mark, but he's not confirmed as the killer until the 95% mark, and even then only loosely. Memories of Murder doesn't even reveal the killer till the movie ends. However, that doesn't mean that the killer's presence is not felt. In fact, it is the opposite. While all three films revolve around a couple of detectives, and although the killer himself barely makes an appearance on screen, the killer gradually occupies more and more of our minds until he is all that we can think about. At first, there's hope. There's the grotesque excitement of taking up a new assignment, of latching onto a new and challenging target. But as time wears on, the protagonists start to feel a sort of fatigue coming over them. They've gathered a bigger workforce, they've gained more media, they've put their all into it. Yet, they still haven't even seen the killer's face. They start to think that perhaps catching the killer is not possible at all.
It's just gonna go on and on and on.
And all the while, the killer roams around freely, leaving a trail of blood as if taunting the detectives for their incompetence. The killer no longer becomes human. Invigorated by its invisibility, it becomes something more, almost like a cruel force of nature that cannot be stopped by mere human will. It eventually becomes the world that the protagonists live in. What started out as a classic detective-chasing killer story transforms into a completely different image, one where the protagonists blindly wade through a tall grass field as the killer leers down at them. Now, the detectives are no longer the chasers. They are reduced to the pawns of a chessboard that the killer has laid out. They start to feel vulnerable, attacked, and
Paranoid.
perceiving even perfectly harmless moments with the utmost fear. Still, all three films manage to keep the suspense going in what appears to be a helplessly defeatist plot by planting false leads, red herrings, distractions, and close encounters with the killer here and there. These devices keep us on the edge of our seats by making us anticipate whether this will be it. And every time they prove to be an illusion, the hopelessness is intensified. Eventually, the villain wins in all three of these films. The killer executes his plan exactly the way he wanted in Seven. The killer is not caught in Memories of Murder, and the prime suspect is never convicted in Zodiac. After a long, dark journey, what we get in the end is a lame makeshift of a closure, and a bitter aftertaste that stays with us long after the movie is over and the ending credits have rolled up.